manifest itself by looking like you're in the waiting a lot. You feel like you're waiting for him to text back. You don't want to lead, so you are in this space of always wondering and wanting more than what he's giving you. So, or you're waiting to get a text back, you're waiting for him to ask you out on the next date. It's just this constant feeling, or even feeling like you want him to show up more. And it's this dialogue that goes on inside of your head, like, if I did this, maybe he would show up like this. And it's, it's what I call it's this cycle that goes on. There's another word for it that I like to use called looping. It's like the looping or obsession can occur. So I am going to give you, if you find that, when you find yourself interested in a man and this starts to happen, or maybe you're in a committed relationship, or even married, and you find yourself in this cycle of wanting or anxiety or waiting for the other shoe to drop, then listen up, because this is for you. So here's the first thing that you get to do to shift that dynamic for yourself. And if you feel like, I just want to say this first, if you feel like you have been really anxious or shown up anxious in a way that has pushed a man away, these three things will actually support you in taking your power back and shifting that dynamic. So listen up. So the first one is access your fun, access your happiness. And, what does that look like? Well, that can look like a lot of things, but as women, we tend to forget about what is truly fun for us. How can we get lost in fun? And, it can look, especially, right now I'm recording this in the middle of, a pandemic, right? So not everybody has access to get together with friends. And, I think about, what is fun for me? What can I access as fun? And maybe you're thinking, well, I could, go online shopping. But I want you to think about, when you're accessing fun, it's not looking for something on the outside to fill you up. So prioritizing your pleasure, your fun, doesn't necessarily look like that. It could, it could mean even just taking a really nice walk, or calling a friend, or meeting a friend for coffee, or doing things that that really fill you up on the inside. And it could even be getting lost in a really good book, or taking a bath, or just taking some time to access what is something that feels good to me. What is it? And what do I have the tendency to avoid? Sometimes I think, and I've been guilty of this, of, I've avoided doing things that I love, or that make me feel good, or actually give me a lot of pleasure, because I'm simply not prioritizing myself. And, this is the old adage of putting the oxygen mask on your face first. So especially now, you get to look at what could be fun. And maybe fun would be having a dance party with yourself in the living room, or getting on a Zoom call with a group of girlfriends spontaneously and doing a dance party or a virtual happy hour. Think about things that you could do that would enrich your life and bring you joy. So I recommend making a list of those so that you can access those and really fulfill your own happy. And that way you're not worried about, because oftentimes when we're feeling really anxious, we're looking for someone else to fill that hole in our soul, that space within us that doesn't feel satisfied, that needs validation. It's like, I call it the insatiable monster inside of us that needs that affirmation. And if you constantly find yourself needing that, go there first. Okay. So that is number one. And number two, if you feel anxious a lot, if you feel like you, you think you need to prove yourself worthy in dating, and you may not even relate to that, or maybe it looks a little bit different for you, like you need to be available, or always doing nice things, or people pleasing in one way, shape, or form. Because oftentimes, as women, when we like a man, or when we're in relationship too, we can do this almost flip flop where we go into people pleasing. And chances are, if you're in a relationship or if you're dating, the man was attracted to you for some reasons, and typically they are your confidence, the things that make you you, and that you do that exude your happiness. Men love women that are passionate about the things they do in their life, like the things they prioritize that aren't them. And somewhere it can kind of flip flop, right? So, and that is largely due to, it could be societal conditioning, it can be, this starts really young in childhood too. But so the next thing to do is, there's something inside of you that's not getting the validation or getting what you want or need from that individual. um on the surface, I would say continue dating, date other people. But if you're in a relationship and you want to stay in that relationship, then there's some inner work that gets to be done. And it's the same if you're dating as well. And that inner work is usually an inner little girl wound. And that little girl is not getting some attention. And sometimes that manifests as a temper tantrum, or it manifests as that anxiety that wants to reach out for attention. Usually I see women do one of two things. They either, get really anxious, or they will shut down and just kind of numb out or avoid. And they may not use substances, and they might use substances to avoid. Um, excuse me. But either way, there is a detachment from yourself and a detachment from your feelings. So you will never feel fully at ease or satisfied in a relationship until you tend to the inner stuff, the inner work, I call it. So how you can start with that, I have I have lots of little girl exercises that I teach. But a couple of questions that you can do and that you can stop and ask yourself. One, you can just put your hand on your heart and breathe and ask yourself the question, what didn't I get that I feel, what's lacking that I feel like I need right now? And just ask yourself and wait for the answer. And it might seem ludicrous. It might seem like, I didn't get, a bunch of flowers and the dinner at the place that I, whatever. But, listen to what she says. And it could even be, I didn't get a compliment. I don't feel pretty. So listen to what she says, and you get to support her in feeling that way. And some ways to do that is you can literally sit down and just, really quietly in a meditation and just tell your little girl, gosh, you are so beautiful. You are so loved. You are so seen. Because all of those things are a result of not feeling seen, feeling maybe like you're inconvenient to someone else. And continue that dialogue and that relationship so that you're connected to her, and that will actually ease your anxiety. So, this has to do with attachment style too. And if you're familiar with attachment style, there is anxious attachment style, but there, if you want to, and I'm sure you do, you want to grow her up and you want to feel connected to yourself and your confidence and your value, connecting with her on the inside is the number one way to do that. And, I could do probably 5 videos on really connecting with your inner child. So if you're feeling, typically, if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like just this unsettled feeling often, there's usually a little girl wound that's inside of there that's not feeling seen. So connect with her, and you will be surprised at, once you really start to regularly connect with her, you're having a relationship and you're truly growing her up. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, you get to surrender and trust the process, which I know is easier said than done, but you want to do 2 before you do 3. And, realize that your desires get to manifest themselves, and trust that you have a desire in your heart. It gets to happen. And you get to believe that it is going to happen. And part of doing that visualization is helpful, but truly finding a way, whether whether you have a relationship with God or spirit or, a power greater than you, is just turning that feeling over and trusting, hey, I'm great. And I'm trusting that what I desire is happening, instead of, sourcing out what I need. What I need from a man is, whoops, I just knocked my computer, is XYZ. Instead of doing that, going within and trusting that these things get to happen. And you're not stopping your life, right? You're doing things to focus on you to create what you really want. So something that I just want to say this in closing is when we, you know, when we're feeling this anxiety, when we're feeling frustrated, we're often trying to demand from others what we can provide for ourselves. So it's shifting that last one when you go to surrender. It's shifting all those negative thoughts into that a higher level thought, a higher level message to yourself. It's like a mantra. And you could find a mantra that would work for you in any of these situations. Like, I'm an amazing woman, and he is really lucky to have me in his life. And coming from a place of love for yourself and confidence. I'm an amazing woman. I have so much to offer. The right man sees that and sees me as I see me, right? We oftentimes attract people who are mirrors of us. So where, that can be a hard pill to swallow, and it can be a good pill to swallow too, because oftentimes we all have shadows, and that's why relationships can be so interesting to navigate, because they do and can bring out those shadow sides of us that we get the opportunity to grow from. So I hope this was super helpful for you guys, and let me know. Drop a heart down below and say, if this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions about this, or maybe you think, gosh, I've tried it all, and you're feeling really vulnerable, write that in the comment section below. I would invite you to also look at, what is something in my life that I'm really good at, or comes really effortless or easy to me, that I don't even have to think about. And it could be anything. It could be, you create really amazing friendships, and you've got all of these friends all over the place, and it's that so easy to you. So, or maybe you're really successful in your career, and your careers always come very natural and easy to you, or putting together a great home that you feel safe and comfortable in. It is not a given that these things just come together. But if you have things that come with ease, and I guarantee you do, then your love life can be created with ease as well, by starting with taking these steps. I hope this helps. Give me a like if you like this. Put a heart emoji down below if you relate, if this is you at all. And if you're on YouTube and you happen to like this, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I would mucho love that. And if you are on IGTV, good to see you guys, and love to hear your comments and questions, and anything that you would like to hear in love. Mwah. Lots of love. Have an amazing day.